Imagine getting paid in cryptocurrency just to have a decentralized VPN on your home Wi-Fi network. Let's check out the new dVPN from Indigitus that runs on the Sentinel network. Okay, first things first. Now, Mike from Indigitus, he's one of the founders, he actually did reach out to me about this router, and I had heard a little bit about Sentinel, but Mike introduced me much more, answered a lot of my questions on it, so I'm sure a lot of people know what a VPN is. It basically allows you to hide your IP address. It basically routes your IP address through a virtual point. There's lots of value behind that. The main reason is going to be privacy. So privacy from your internet service provider, privacy from apps and services that you use, and privacy from your government. You notice this in a lot of countries where things like Facebook or Netflix are banned. You hear stories of people using it for things like getting different content on Netflix, or sometimes companies actually charge different prices for services in different locations. And so sometimes people use this as a way to get a better deal on apps and services that they're looking to use. What Indigitus has done is they have piggybacked off of Sentinel's open sourced dVPN software, and they have created a hardware node and component to it. Now, as you can see here, here's what it will look like. This black one is actually the Ambassador beta tester version, and so these will be completed production and released sometime in August. With Mike reaching out to me, I was fortunate enough to actually jump in on this and pretty psyched about that. So I will be getting one of these hands-on, be able to review it, test it, give you all of the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between about this router, and really let you know what I think about it, if it's worth it, and, you know, just give you the tea. Now, the first question that I knew all of you would be asking is, why do I need this device? Can't I just go and set up my own through Sentinel? Now, yes, you can. You can actually go to sentinel.co. You can download the software. You can get it on Linux. You can get it on Windows, Mac, Android, and there is actually a iOS mobile version that is it's called Sentinel dVPN Lite. I haven't dived into it too much, but that is an option for you. One of the issues with that is you need to set it up on every single device that you have on your network. That's not a huge issue. Obviously, if you're looking to save some money, hey, go ahead, do that. That should be just fine. But Indigitus is creating a really good IoT solution for this because they're solving multiple pieces to that equation. And I'll talk about some of those. So that's the big question. Why would you get the Indigitus router rather than just setting up your own dVPNs with the Sentinel? Well, my number one reason is because this actually will mine cryptocurrency. So it comes pre-housed with a node for the Sentinel network, plug and play. It's ready to go as soon as you get the router. You plug it in and it's ready to go. Now, I'm guessing you'll actually link your wallet address to it, or it will already come with the wallet address that that you set up, kind of similar to the Helium Hotspot or the Match X M2 Pro. Immediately when you get it, you'll go and set up a wallet or something like that. How does it mine cryptocurrency? So the Sentinel network uses the node. It takes your unused bandwidth from your internet or your data provider, and it uses it towards the network. And in return, any bandwidth that it uses, it rewards you in cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrency is Sentinel, which is SENT. You can view it on Coinbase. I haven't dived into the economy of the Sentinel token too much, but we'll get into that more as time goes on and I get the unit and I'm able to review it a little bit more. Now, of course, you can actually set up your own node for free on the Sentinel network. But one of the benefits of the Indigitus router is that it's plug and play. So if you were to do this the entirely free route, you're going to have to set up a VPN on every single device on your network. And you'll have to set up a node directly. And that can just be on like your home computer, but you would need it to be running all the time. And this device is made specifically to be running at low power, just like your router, and doing all of these things, giving you a decentralized VPN and creating a node hosted inside of this device at all times, running low power. And so it's really a plug and play solution. So a lot of you who watch my channel, you've seen that I built my own Helium Hotspot. You see me build all of these different things for cryptocurrency networks. And the issues that I run into creating that Helium miner was one of the most difficult things that I've ever done. It was open source. They gave me all of the documentation, but if you're a software engineer, you run into hiccups. You run into things that you have to troubleshoot. And so this wipes the slate clean of all of those so that you don't need to deal with any of those. Now, one of the biggest benefits of this as well is that it's a free VPN, and this hardware device, it's a one-time pay. You don't have a monthly subscription. That might change in the future. I don't know, but in my opinion, there are tons of VPNs that charge a lot of money and they can still be hacked into. And so the fact that this is decentralized actually is a huge benefit. This VPN will actually be more secure because the nodes are hosted decentrally, which means it's not just one factory, one location with all of the servers that are hosting these VPNs. So let's jump into some of the frequently asked questions. Number one, I know that everyone is going to be asking is, what is the minimum that you expect to earn? Now, as you can see here, it says on their page that a minimum of $35 a month in dVPN tokens, not including the router's monetized income. This will change over time, as we've seen with lots of companies like Helium, like we've seen with MatchX and the MXC Foundation. That minimum is probably going to go away in the future. I always say this, it's better to get into these projects earlier rather than later. And with the chip shortage, you can see with Helium hotspots, they are very difficult to get right now. If it was me watching this video, I would not sleep on this information. I would do what I can to get into it as soon as possible. Once again, as I always say, none of this is financial advice, but a lot of you following my channel know how well my crypto portfolio and my investment portfolio in general have done. So another cool thing is that Indigitus can actually say that this is the very first dVPN standalone router. First one ever made. That's a pretty cool flex in my book. Another big question is, will it slow down my internet speed? Now, this is really, really important. Obviously, there are going to be more technical details that come out. I'll do an in-depth review. I promise I won't leave everyone hanging. I will go through this and make sure that I turn every single stone that I can. With that being said, these nodes will use the excess bandwidth, so bandwidth that is not being used. So essentially, it should not slow down your network. It's just going to be using the bandwidth that you're not. So as of right now, there isn't a way to adjust and throttle how much bandwidth can be used, but it sounds like that's something that they might deploy later on as the company grows. And the best part about it is if you want to stop letting the network use your excess bandwidth, all you have to do is unplug it or turn the bandwidth off. And of course, we'll go into details on this once I actually have the unit in hand, but with the router, you'll have a web app similar to a router's homepage where you can go in and adjust all of the settings for it as well. The other thing is that with these crypto miners that have a use case, it's nice because it's not solving a complicated algorithm like a Bitcoin miner. So essentially, this network will really just use as much electricity as a normal router, which is really cool in my mind. I love the low power. I'm excited to see these companies pushing to go carbon neutral. And to be honest, it's all because of Bitcoin that this big push is coming about. So pretty excited about that. As far as where the timeline is right now, Mike is actually at the facility that is assembling all of the ambassador routers, the beta testing routers. So I should get my hands on one of those soon, and they will announce when the actual Indigitus DWeb router will be available for purchase and when it will ship. Now, I'm sure with the chip shortage that there is going to be a limited number that can go out. Once again, that's just my speculation. Even iPhones and Xboxes and PS5s are going to be tough to get over the next couple years. So for a company that's just starting like this, we've seen it with Helium, we've seen it with all these other IoT solution companies that are starting up. It's tough. Fortunately, Mike has a lot of experience in electronics productions, so I think he is well equipped for what he's doing. So that's the general overview of it. I'm sure there are going to be a million questions. If you do have questions, make sure you ask them down in the comments section. Now, if you want to get your own Indigitus DWeb router, there will be a link down in the description. This is an affiliate link, which means I get a small commission at no cost to you. I am working with Mike, and hopefully there will actually be a discount code for you if you use my link. So there you have it. In all honesty, I really haven't been as excited about a product like this since the Helium network first came out. I feel like there is a huge need for it, and they're solving a huge problem. It's very early to get in on something like this, and as most of you know, I got into Helium when those miners first came out, and I feel like Indigitus has the potential to scale that large as well. So those are my thoughts on it. With all that said, if you haven't already, make sure you smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I have lots of great content coming out, including reviews of crypto, tech, and investing platforms, and lots more updates on the Indigitus dVPN. So make sure you turn the notification bell on. That way you'll get notified anytime I come out with new information or the review on the dVPN. So with all that out of the way, thank you for stopping by. Once again, my name is Chris with Committed 3D Tech, and we'll catch you next time.